In John 2, verses 9 to 10, let's look at the comments of the master of the feast. What did he say about this? It says, when the master of the feast had tasted the water that was made wine, and did not know where it came from, but the servants who had drawn the water knew, the master of the feast called the bridegroom, and he said to him, every man at the beginning sets out the good wine, and when the guests have well drunk, then the inferior. You have kept the good wine until now. Now these comments actually, I'm just doing Bible study here. This is just hermeneutics. This is obviously not to feed my own drinking habits. I have none, right? I like pomegranate juice, is really good. Grape juice, just grapes, I'm down. But this is just because I want to give us the scriptures here, right? And the scripture here makes it clear that this was definitely alcoholic wine that Jesus made. How do I know this? Because the guy says, normally the guy sets out the good wine, and then after the guests have well drunk, and in the Greek there he means that they've became somewhat intoxicated. That's what that means in the Greek. So he then compares that wine that Jesus made to the wine that could intoxicate people as good wine. So his version of good wine could intoxicate people, and he calls what Jesus' wine good wine. So we know what kind of wine he was talking about. It's right there in the text. You don't need to study ancient Greek. You don't need to study ancient Roman cultures to see, just read the text. Now, I just want to add this. Some people will take this and they'll act like it meant Jesus is okay with drunkenness. Jesus sends people to hell for drunkenness. We'll get to that in a second, okay? Any use of this text, because I've seen this many times, this text used to excuse drunkenness or to have a low attitude on the sinfulness of drunkenness. We'll come to that in a minute. It just means that Jesus did in fact make alcoholic wine for the people that were at that event. So Matthew 11:19, Jesus says that he's accused of being a bad guy because it says the Son of Man came eating and drinking, and they say, look, a glutton and a winebibber, a friend of tax collectors and sinners. Now, if Jesus only drank grape juice, then he couldn't be accused of being a winebibber probably. So Jesus himself would have drunk, never once ever becoming too tipsy or a little bit over the line of what's appropriate. Never, ever, ever, but he would have drunk. Okay, so those are to me, those are like a lot of really important positive passages. I draw from this the conclusion that wine is intended by God to be a blessing for man, used in moderation.